Hey everybody, it's Brad.
And I'm Christa.
With the Big Family Homestead, and today we had kind of a big scare that I don't think we're completely done with it, but I think
No, we're not.
we're out of the bad stuff.
Yes, we know what it is.
I had to take Mama to the ER today.
As you can see, I'm okay, but...
Well, yeah. Let's start by this. The reason why we're even sharing this at all with a bunch of strangers, for the most part, is because there's a warning for you in this. Mm-hmm. And with that, why don't you tell... Because I wasn't going to say anything, but she's like, no, it should probably help some people.
I think this will help a lot of people. I have a hereditary thing, a gene mutation. It's the factor II prothrombin, which is a blood clotting issue. And if you don't know what it is, you can look it up. It is a very rare thing. You can Google it. I'm not going to go through and explain it all. It is hereditary. So with that, I have a tendency to develop blood clots. I found out that I have this when I was pregnant with Grace because I was on bed rest. And when you lay around a lot, when you sit around a lot, a blood clot tends to develop.
With her blood.
With my blood. So that happened a long time ago. It was fixed, and then after that, whenever I was pregnant, I would have to be on a blood thinner. Well, I started feeling some pain in my lower right leg.
A couple days ago.
Friday, a couple days ago, and then it proceeded to continue up my leg and into the front of my thigh. Extreme pain, swelling, redness, heat coming off of it. So last night...
Then I insisted that you go to the hospital.
Well, last night I decided to call the nurse just to find out, because there's something I can do at home, because I don't want to go to the doctor
with all this craziness
going on. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just, deal with it. And by this morning, it was even worse. And so, yes, you insisted. I was not...
she was being stubborn.
I was not being stubborn.
She was being stubborn, and I honestly had to bring up the big guns. I had to say, remember your children.
You're a dork.
I had to do it, but praise God that we did, because...
So I went to the ER, or the ED as they are calling it now, emergency department, not the emergency room. So I went because he couldn't come in. I had to go in by myself. He drove me. I went in. They did an ultrasound within 20 minutes of me being there. It was very quick.
You went into the
walk-in. I went to the walk-in, and when I was telling the lady who was registering me what was going on, another lady registering people overheard what I said. She's like, "Oh, she needs to go to the ER.
We don't deal with that
because that's
serious.
Something more serious." I said, "Okay." So I walked around to the emergency room, and they checked me right away. They asked me all kinds of questions.
Temperature first.
Temperature, what my name is, what's my phone number, have you been around anybody that's been out of the country, blah, blah, blah. Which was fine. I'm all for that kind of keeping track. Got in there right away, and like I said, within 15, 20 minutes, they were doing an ultrasound. The good news is, it is a superficial vein that this blood clot is in. It is not a DVT, a deep vein thrombosis. So it is a superficial. So I will be able to fix this with warm heat, antibiotics,
exercise. For both of us.
Yes, exercise and lots of water. So, and there's lots of other things too, but.
Well, and the lesson here is praise God that she's going to be fine. Mm-hmm. But also, excuse me. Oh, I didn't go into the emergency room.
No. My concern for folks right now during the social distancing and the self-quarantine is that a lot of people are just laying around, sitting around. This could develop for anybody, not just me because I have a blood clotting issue. It could be anyone. I just want you guys to be cautious. Get up, take a walk. You know, if you can't go outside because you live in an apartment, walk around the apartment several times a day. You know, make sure you're drinking lots of water regularly, not just all at once.
Well, yes. Yes. I was going to concur with that, but what I was going to say is also, don't be ignoring the other side of your health. I mean, everybody's freaked out about COVID-19 right now.
Right.
And you know what? There's definitely concern there. However, there was practically nobody in the hospital and nobody in the clinics. And the reason why is a lot of people are ignoring their regular health stuff. And yeah, you're probably not the wisest to go into a spot where there's a lot of people that could possibly have this. But my what I wanted to say is, take a look at what you can do at home.
Yeah.
You know, there are tons of good working natural remedies, stuff that you can make at home, do at home, or may already have.
Yeah.
And just be aware of what's going on, because we're all sitting around a lot. We're all sitting, there's not a lot to do. You can't go very many places.
Right.
And so be aware of this, because had we ignored it, which, okay, I'm not gonna rub it in anymore, but I'm gonna say that was what you wanted to do initially, and fortunately, guilt and pain in your leg motivated us to say, okay, it's worth the risk of going to the hospital.
Well, and that was the thing. I was trying to put it off because I didn't want to expose my family to anything, any possibilities.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we haven't had any cases in our county yet, but you know, I just still didn't want to put my family at risk. But I was I was around very minimal people, and everyone that I was in contact with had masks on.
And you were also staying far away.
And I was also very far away, so it was, you know.
Well, be aware.
Yeah.
Because, and here's another thing. I'm sorry, I don't want to keep dragging this out, but, you know, COVID-19 is going to be taken into control at some point. How long, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
But don't kid yourself, people. There will be another something like it in the future. Take a look at where your health situation is now and use this as a time to, like, hey, get an eye exam. You know, not right now, but when all this kind of, call up the ophthalmologist. Yeah, I'd like to get an eye exam.
I'm going to stick my dirty fingers in your eye and give you...
No, I meant when everything kind of levels back out.
Yeah.
But, you know, take a look at those things that you may have been neglecting. How about teeth? How horrible would it be for you to have a rotting tooth right now?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I can't even imagine.
And believe it or not, there are remedies for that kind of stuff to help abate pain.
Clove oil is a good one.
Well, and if you got something bleeding in your mouth, you know what works? Black tea bags. Yeah. There are tannins in them, and my dentist told me this. Yeah. And he said, yeah, if you're ever stuck, because I had to have a tooth removed. He said if it opens up and you can't get in there, you shove a black tea bag in there, and the tannins in that tea will stop bleeding. And it did. Within a short amount of time. I can't remember how long it took, but the bleeding was done. Yep. It was fantastic. So, lesson learned, and then you can finish up, is just when we get this all back to normal, really take a good look at what health things that your concerns are for you. Right. And do something about it. Right. Right. Oh. No, I didn't have anything else to say. Oh, now you got to finish the video. Okay. He's Brad, I'm Krista. You have an amazing day.